Welcome back to the next episode of the eCom Growth Show. I'm your host, Danan Coleman, founder of eCom Triage, co-founder of Catalog Defender, and I have with me somebody who started in the, well, let's see, Andrew, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us where you started, what your journey has been, and where you are today. And shortcut, a little bit of mystery here. You are the founder of BlueTuskr.
Correct. Yep. So quick shortcut to the current. Yep. I'm the founder of BlueTuskr, host of the eCom Show podcast. I've been in e-commerce marketing for 15 or 16 years now. It's pretty much all I've ever done. I've owned or been a partner of a couple agencies prior to this. Started BlueTuskr in early 2020. Prior to this, a little bit more heavier on the Amazon side. Now more so on a little bit basically focused on the omnichannel side.
Nice. I love it. So, why did you start BlueTuskr? I know you've been partners in other agencies, but why did you start BlueTuskr?
A few different reasons. So at one point I was in-house. I was with a pretty good size 8-figure brand. And I always had this issue where, I'd work with, they refer to themselves as like specialist agencies where they really just do one thing. And my problem was they all would hit a wall. Like at the time it was just Facebook ads. My Facebook ads guy would be like, "Hey, you've got conversion rate issues on your website," and I'd be like, "Cool, how can you help me?" Like, "Oh, we don't do that." I'm like, "Okay," so I gotta go find someone else.
Yeah.
And then we would have the issues like, all right, well, I've got Facebook ads, I've got Google ads, I've SEO, I have email. Like I'm basically account managing all these people myself. And the issue I ran into all the time was like, I could never get them on the same page. Everyone had their own different processes. No matter what they did, they still saw each other as competitive. So getting them to work together was a nightmare. And I basically spent more time account managing than actually doing my job. So then we tried doing full service agencies, and that was horrible. That was basically college kids that, knew a little bit about a lot, and it was just not good. So what I was curious about is like, why is there not an agency where it's like, you can hire a fractional CMO. Why can't I hire like a fractional marketing department where they're just housed with a bunch of specialists, but I'm only, using as much time as I need?
I like it.
And that's more or less what we built out at BlueTuskr. So everyone's completely specialized in their area. Each department they only focus on one area. And then you have an account strategist basically acts as like a fractional CMO.
That's awesome.
And so prior to that, I was a partner in another agency. We were mainly focused on the Amazon side. And one of the issues I saw there was we had countless clients that would just get suspended for no reason. Even when I was in-house, we changed out a credit card once. Amazon thought it was fraud, so they shut the account down for like 2 weeks. It was horrendous. So I really started leaning into helping brands diversify and not be so reliant on Amazon and start to find ways to earn their customer data back and use different things that way. So that's kind of where BlueTuskr starts to take its focus.
Got it. Yeah. Well, for those of you listening, on nearly every episode that I harp on anyone that's not diversified off of Amazon. So now I don't follow my own advice. I'm 100% Amazon. But
there you go.
With that being said, we also are not private label. So, and we only get exclusivity to brands on Amazon. So if I was private label though, I don't know that I'd even launch on Amazon. I might launch on Shopify first and start driving traffic and getting that engagement so that when I did launch on Amazon, I had a list I could go to and just say, "Hey, everybody, I just launched my product on Amazon. Coupon code, it's the same thing and love. Go and get it. And I'd love it if you left me a review," kind of a thing,
Yeah, and that's basically, in a nutshell, it's more or less what we look at it as. Like, when you're launching a new product on Amazon, whether it's a new business and a new product or just a new product to an existing business, it's basically like starting over. Like you have no audience you can reach out to, nothing. And so we like to look at Amazon as a really good customer acquisition channel, but then leveraging your off-marketplace data to probably drive traffic directly to Amazon, especially for product launch strategies. Because, you have like that 30 to 60 day honeymoon period where you rank a little bit better than you're probably going to. Yeah. That's when we go, great, let's do a campaign with your existing list. Let's drive them straight to Amazon, get that kind of snowball effect going. And then obviously you kind of pivot your traffic back to where you were. And now that they have Buy with Prime that allows you to do DSP ads back to your website, then you use Amazon as an acquisition channel and incentivize those people to come back to your website, get all your data back, control your customer life cycle, be rich, retire. I guess that's the order of operations.
Perfect. Yes. All right, good. So I like that. That's I agree with that methodology 100%. If I did a private label again, I would definitely do something along those lines. Also leveraging, like I have a network of off-road guys. And so my last product that I did private label was a camping blanket. I've since retired that product because it was too much of well, I don't actually like doing private label. That's the real reason.
Okay.
But
I get it.
yeah, using these YouTube influencers, that's another way that I would go. Do you guys do anything when it comes to producing user-generated content, influencers, affiliates, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, you have to. At this point, anything like every product line is obviously very different. Some products it's not necessary at all. Like, give you an example, like electronic, like
$5,000 pump.
yeah, like replacement water filters. We've got people that sell roofing parts, like stuff that tends to be in like the just replacement area. That's an obvious, like Google, Microsoft, right place, right time, SEO. Yep. That's it.
Yep.
And the strong email just so they don't forget about you. Anything else where it requires education, so either A, it's a completely new product and it's just wildly differentiated, no one's ever heard of it, or B, you need to differentiate it across from your competitors. It requires telling them why it's different and things like that, or why they need it. 100% social media. Mm-hmm. Problem is everyone feels like everything has to be perfect, and I want this beautiful image with these beautiful call outs, and it has to be clear and concise and blah, blah. And while to a certain extent in some scenarios, like for luxury stuff, that can work, that's not going to do well most of the time on social. So like user-generated content, influencer marketing, you come on, even though the user knows that, okay, this influencer was obviously paid to do this stuff, there's still that level of like, yeah, but there's no way they were paid a significant amount to lie. Most influencers aren't going to do stuff that they don't want to work with.
Yeah.
So they trust the people that they like. So using influencers, generated UGC content creators, they do much better at just helping you spread that message and kind of start the word of mouth process.
Okay, cool. Do you have a system that you prefer for that, or do you have your own network of influencers?
A little bit of both. So
okay.
It also kind of depends on the situation. Like obviously a lot of brands we've worked with in the past at this point, we've just got a lot that we worked with. The easiest way to do it, like if we're starting from scratch, right? So it's like, hey, we haven't done this product line before and our influencers that we work with may or may not be interested. What's our approach? First thing we look at is we need content, right? To be posting on their profile, things like that. So let's just start with UGC. So there's a bunch of different platforms out there that you can work with where they kind of help you vet them and things like that. We use that to start the process. Then once we find content creators we really like, we'll usually take them off platform, start our own library of people to work with, and then we'll just send them stuff on a regular basis to make content for us.
Right on.
Very cool. Very similar approach on the influencer side, where there's a few platforms out there that you can start off with seeding them. And so you could do hundreds of them at a time if you really wanted to. And then the ones that really stand out to you that do well, that, you know, they're getting you the views, maybe they're getting you the sales, then we start conversations with them, take them off platform, start to build out a library of influencers, work out deals with them, turn them into affiliates, whatever we've got to do there. And then we usually start to then take those as like examples and start to work with bigger influencers that usually you have to like pay and kind of figure out different deals with. But that's kind of how we slow roll into the whole thing. Because otherwise, it's tough to start from the beginning and just start paying influencer right away. Half of them don't want to work with you.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, cool. All right, well, I've got a series of questions prepared here to ask you, and I'm just going to roll right through them. You ready?
Let's do it.
Sweet. Number one is, why do you believe omnichannel marketing is so critical for e-commerce brands right now, especially for Amazon sellers? I feel like we kind of answered that, but I want to know specifically, what do you say?
Quick and painless answer. Being solely reliant on a single sales channel or a single business for your business is ridiculous, right?
Especially Amazon.
Especially Amazon. You have no control over it. Customer service is a nightmare getting them to do anything. They could suspend you at any minute just because something triggered and thus you got suspended. So you just have no control of your own fate. And that sounds like an utter nightmare. The other thing is that I always talk about is when you go to exit. So last I looked up this number, if let's say you hit a $10 million a year business, you're solely FBA, you're just Amazon. Chances are you're going to average exiting for about a 2 to 3x EBITDA. If you have your own D2C platform, so you have an email list, you have social followers, you have a website with visitors coming to it, you have everything, all the data, you then jump up to averaging like 3 to 5. So you could easily exit for about 2 times more just because you have data to offer at the same revenue, same profit, no difference. And it opens up your buyer pool because obviously other companies that are selling similar stuff may want to work with you. So multiple reasons.
Yeah. Well, the multiple is one of the multiple
Literal,
reasons.
yes.
Okay, cool. All right. Next question is, for D2C brands that rely heavily on Amazon, how should they think about paid ads on platforms like Meta and Google and to actually drive more Amazon sales?
So there's a few ways to do that. The easiest way is to leverage something on your D2C site, like a Buy with Prime, or even creating your own custom button. But Amazon loves off Amazon traffic, and it's a great way to help grow your Amazon business. That's pretty much flat. That it just is what it is. It's a lot harder to do it and speak through it. The other side of it being, if you're leveraging like a Meta and a Google and you're driving that traffic to your website, are you then going to gather some of that data through Buy with Prime or through an available on Amazon button and then drive traffic straight to Amazon, like for product launch strategies, or if you're trying to sell through something or something like that? Then you factor in from a paid media perspective using DSP, driving traffic from Amazon back to your website. That's great with just gaining customer data by trying to upsell them something. Great for getting people to subscribe to things. Some people just do warranties so that they can get the customer's information.
Yeah.
There's a ton of different ways.
Yeah. And that actually brings a question to mind. Are you a DSP partner?
We are not. So DSP is the one thing that I have not touched just yet. The Amazon side, we do a ton with Amazon ads, your traditional Amazon ads, listing optimization, storefronts, all the same normal stuff. DSP is a little bit of a beast. And to do it correctly, there's a lot of agencies out there that I really like the way they do it. And so instead, we've actually just partnered with them. And so like a lot of our brands, we end up just partnering with DSP agencies.
Yeah, I know you have to, if you're not an agency, you're a brand that wants to do DSP, you've got to have, I think it's a minimum, last time I checked, $30K a month with a minimum of 3 months. And then some of these agencies out there have made it so that they can add seats to their existing spend. So you don't, I know of, I think 2 agencies that do this where they are a partner with DSP, and then you could spend $500 a month if you wanted to, but still get on DSP.
Yeah. So everything you said is wildly accurate. The thing that worries me about it from our perspective is a lot of brands, no matter what we say to them, they want to dip their toe in, and they're like, "Oh, I just want to spend like $100 a day or something like that on DSP." Like, look. I don't really know how that's going to go. It's a very different, it's a different platform. It's a different approach. It's very similar to like a Meta or something where you're building out audiences and things like that.
Yeah.
But it's the other issue I've always run into is the attribution is insane. I think it's like a 30-day attribution or something. So it takes credit for anyone that saw an ad, and it's like, all right, let's pump the brakes a little bit. So there's certain agencies that I think do really well with it. And so it was just, we've been exploring it. We haven't done it yet, but for now, those agencies, they do it better than we do. So for DSP stuff, we usually work with them.
Yeah, cool. Well, I'm sure you'll bring on a DSP master and then you will offer it.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. Next question. Attribution across multiple channels is a huge pain point. How do you help eCom brands measure the ROI of omnichannel marketing when a customer might touch 5 or more even platforms before they actually purchase?
Easiest way is to aggregate everything. So rising tides lift all boats, right?
Sure.
If you are running ads on Meta, Google, TikTok, Amazon, etc., I want to know what your spend is across all of them. I want to know what your revenue is across all of them. Start there. Then you have to break it down by the purpose of each channel. So, or break it down by the purpose of each campaign, right? So like Meta, you're going to have stuff that's more prospecting, top of funnel, but you're also going to have middle of funnel stuff. So that ROAS is going to be a wildly different target than your top of funnel.
Yep.
Typically very middle of funnel. That's going to be a difference. So we try to segment them out to then look at the purpose of not only the platform, but also of the campaign. And so that way we can evaluate everything holistically. Because I remember years ago, we did some tests at the last agency I was at. We worked with, I think it was like about a dozen brands. Left Meta ads completely flat. We left Amazon ads completely flat. And then for a month and got like a baseline month. And then the next month we left Amazon ads flat again, but we increased Meta by like 10%. Almost every brand that we did this for saw like a 6 to 7% lift that we would expect on their website, but then like a 3 to 4% lift on Amazon. And so it's inevitable that you're going to see people jumping over. The easiest way to track it's just tracking like influxes and branded search coming through Amazon. But that's where it gets really interesting to look at how all of these other advertising initiatives are affecting every sales channel that brands are on.
Yeah, cool. Now, I can tell by the way you speak, you've been in marketing for quite some time. I feel that there's likely a lot of people, Amazon sellers specifically, that are not so familiar with top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, and the purposes of each. Could you just define those three funnel points and the purpose behind each one of them?
Yeah. Top of funnel, let's say completely net new, has no idea who you are. They've never heard of your brand. They know nothing about you. So you're presenting something completely new to them. That could be through advertising. It could be through really any initiative, to be honest, that as long as they've just never heard of you. So they're at the very top of the funnel. And then the next stage is typically they're aware of you. So they know of you. Maybe they've purchased with you in the past. Maybe they haven't, but they have been somewhat educated. So maybe they've seen your social posts or engaged with some of your ads or something like that. Maybe they visited your website and didn't convert. Maybe they're on your email list and haven't converted in a really long time. Like they've shown some interest and they know who you are, middle of funnel. Bottom of funnel, that's like you're at the very end. Add to cart, so like abandoned cart stuff. Basically, they were about to pull that trigger. Great, they're bottom of funnel. You could even argue that existing customers trying to upsell them stuff are bottom of funnel. Basically, they're at the very end stage of the purchase, and those are typically the ones that are more likely to.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
Anytime.
Right on. Okay, I have only one more question for you. So you've gone over this a little bit, but you used to be an in-house marketer for an 8-figure brand before starting BlueTuskr. What lessons from that experience shaped how you run your agency today?
How we run the agency, well, I would say how we work with brands is definitely incentivizing and encouraging to diversify. Because, like I said, we got suspended, and I thought I was out of a job. So that was definitely one thing. The other was realizing how the user is going to shop wherever they want. And so we find ways to make them just make it as easy as possible. We can't control them. We can't force them to go to the website. I'm going to incentivize them to go to the website and purchase there because my margins are better. But I know that a lot of them are going to Amazon. So how can I make that an easier experience for them? So looking at that when people say omnichannel, they think, oh, that just means selling on every platform. But it also means your marketing initiatives have to be more or less like agnostic. And so that tends to be what we really look at and how we really try to position everything.
Okay, cool. And then when it comes to omnichannel, let's say I am an Amazon only seller, right? I'm doing $1 million a month. Sorry, $1 million a year. What order would you suggest I diversify off of Amazon? And I realize that could be different depending on let's say I'm a kitchen item.
Okay. I appreciate you giving me the product because that's usually, that's always a question I get. And I'm like, what is it though?
Yeah.
So assuming it's a kitchen item that requires some education, sometimes the easiest thing to do, and I guess it would also be dependent on what the goals are of the business, but TikTok definitely tends to be the one thing that everyone just jumps to, right? If it's a relatively inexpensive product, TikTok's a great way to go. So TikTok, do some influencer marketing on TikTok, set them up with affiliates, run a little bit of ads, test that on TikTok just to see if you can get those ads to convert. But what I like to do, if the brand wants to, like, hey, I want to build a brand, it's time for us to build a website, like, let's turn this into like a real, true, viable business and start to get some of our customer data. My approach is make sure you have sponsored brand ads running to your storefront and see if you can get your storefront to convert, right? So you set up the modules where they have the ability to add to cart. I just want to see if it can. It doesn't have to be wildly profitable. I just want to know that it's possible. So at that point, I now know my storefront can convert.
And when you're saying storefront, you're talking about like a web cart, like a Shopify or
no, like your Amazon storefront.
Oh, your Amazon storefront.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm starting there. I just want to know my Amazon storefront has the ability to convert, right? So at that point, I'm then going to start testing off Amazon ads very lightly. So depending on the product, sounds like in a kitchen product in this scenario, I might do meta ads, maybe I'll do TikTok ads, and I'll probably use the attribution code, and I will drive traffic directly to the storefront and just see, can I get off Amazon traffic to convert on Amazon?
Okay.
And if I can prove that out, now I know I can find an audience off Amazon that is willing to convert on Amazon. So next, let's put a little bit of a barrier in there. So now I might do, instead of jumping into a full website, because it's the biggest problem I find with brands is they make these half-assed websites. They look like garbage and they're like, why isn't it converting? Yeah. So I would do a really nice landing page. And even if you just focus on one product or your top sellers, anything like that, do an available on Amazon button or a buy with Prime button, something like that. Because what you don't know is the consumers that you found, are they actually more likely to just shop on Amazon? And we don't know that part yet. So build out the landing page, give them the ability to convert on the landing page, but still give them the option to go to Amazon if that's their preference. Okay. If you can get them to convert on the web page, then start A/B testing, getting rid of the available on Amazon button or buy with Prime, whichever one, and actually start to grow your customer list slowly but surely. Pour more gas on it or accept that it's working. Then you start to invest in your own website and like true D2C. There's 500 things you could do then. So that's how you can kind of slow roll into it so that you're not jumping into it right away. Because if you do a website correctly, I mean, they're $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, you do them correct, especially if you have a decent sized product line. And sometimes it's much more lucrative to kind of baby step into it by just testing it from an off Amazon perspective first.
I actually like that. That's brilliant. I wouldn't have thought of that process myself. Because prior to even selling on Amazon, used to build websites. And so I just went, oh, cool. I just built a WordPress website, put in WooCommerce, good to go. And I went, well, this is crap. I'm going to go switch over to Shopify. Cool. Shopify, I make one sale a month from somebody who was buying from me on Amazon. Hey, I'm happy with that because they thought a lot, but and I get more profit that way. As I was doing this on trying to drive off Amazon traffic to my website. Well, hold on a second. That's a lie. I didn't drive any traffic at all. I just built the site.
Nice.
Then I went, well, this sucks. And eventually I just stopped paying for Shopify. Once I converted Shopify is so much easier than WooCommerce is. But once I stopped paying for that, I just went, it's not worth my time because you have to learn how to drive traffic. And I think that's a big mistake that a lot of people make. And you probably remember this, probably about 5 years ago, there was this huge industry-wide fire going like, hey, you gotta have a Shopify site. Gotta have a Shopify site. And so all these people went out and built these garbage Shopify sites and that didn't convert and then came back and said, I couldn't make it work. And it's like, okay, well, the problem is that you don't know how to drive traffic. So the baby steps that you're talking about, I think is a brilliant method because if you can't get your storefront on Amazon to convert, you're for damn sure not going to get a website to convert.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Amazon sellers are spoiled.
Yeah,
These are like the average conversion rate on a listing, I think is like 20, 30% or something like that. You go to Shopify, if you're getting 3 or 4%, awesome.
You're killing it.
You're probably better than most. And it never ceases to amaze me how Amazon sellers will put especially the good ones, they'll put a lot of effort into their listings. Beautiful product imagery, great call outs, infographics, size charts, all that fun stuff. Really well documented SEO processes that they went through for all of their bullet points. And then the A+ content's flawless. The storefront looks great. Like all this work, right? That looks awesome. And then they go to their Shopify and they just pick a random theme that's clearly a theme. It's wildly templated. They don't take any of the stuff that they did on Amazon and at least replicate it onto their website. And then they go, I don't understand why this isn't working. But like if I went to this website, it looks sketchy. It looks like spam. I don't trust it. I'm not going to purchase from this. At least on Amazon, I know the return policies and all the fun stuff that the Amazon always has. So I have the trust in Amazon. Ipso facto, I have the trust in your product. Off Amazon, I don't know who the hell you are. So you have to look like you want to be making sales. Otherwise, I'm not buying from your website.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Yep. Cool. Well, Andrew, how do people find you? I know a lot of them need your help.
My house.
At your house.
So Andrew at BlueTuskr.com. It's BLUETUSKR, or you just go to BlueTuskr.com. And then LinkedIn, Instagram, I don't care. Anything, it's Andrew Maff, ANDREWMAFF, all over the place.
I like it. Cool. And then afterwards, we'll get your address so that we can, my audience, I do this little donation thing like, hey, donate towards sending a glitter bomb to our guests.
Fantastic.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that until afterwards. Oops. Oh, well, next time. All right, cool, man. Well, thank you very much for being on the show. I appreciate it. You have delivered an enormous amount of rapid value. So this was great. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, cool. And then for those of you listening, thank you, honey. I'm glad you're a listener. Go ahead and click on the next one so that I get my engagement rate up. All right, thanks. Love you. Bye. See ya.